What is the best exercise for weight loss? Is it running? Is it cycling? Maybe it's rowing. Maybe it's resistance training. But what about ab classes? Or maybe it's doing free weights? Or is it machines? Maybe it's calisthenics. What is the best exercise for weight loss? Do you know? Do I know? Welcome to the latest episode of the My Body Health Podcast, where on this podcast, I do my best every single week to provide you with the tools and the strategies, and importantly, the facts that'll help you to take your life from where it is to where you want it to be. Whether that be improving your health, improving your well-being, getting better results aesthetically or performance-based or energy-wise, taking any area of your life from where it is to where you want it to be. Because again, I'm always stressing, it's important you have a commitment, make a commitment that you're going to evolve into a better version of yourself every day until your last breath. If you keep that kind of commitment, your life can only improve. And unfortunately, we live at a time when there's so much confusion because there's so much information out there. There has never been so much information, but unfortunately, the majority of it is absolute rubbish. There's never been so many supposed inverted commas experts, but that word shouldn't be used. So people are very confused. They don't know what's right. They don't know what's wrong. I do my best to clarify it and clarify it in as simple a way as possible so that it's understandable to anybody. So in this particular episode, I just want to shortly, or for a brief time, speak about exercise. And one of the most common questions I get asked online and in general is, what is the best exercise for weight loss? And, we hear so much stuff out there. You see people in the gym, they're going on the treadmill or the cross trainer or the bike for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Other people then are doing certain types of classes. Other people then are hitting the weights because the weights are the best thing supposedly, and they do no cardio. Some do cardio and no weights. Others then they are going, look, I want to get abs, so I'm going to do loads of abs, thousands of abs, or I'm going to do an ab class. But what's actually going to help you lose weight? So let's clarify a few things here. I want to start off by the most important thing is I want you to stop focusing on losing weight. And you might think, hold on, this is why I'm here. I want to learn what the best exercise is to lose weight. So let me explain to you. It's not about losing weight. You don't actually want to lose weight in reality. You're nearly conditioned to believe that you want to lose weight by the fitness industry itself, as well as lots of different types of industries and supplement industry and so on, where weight is what has been marketed and people use weight as their indicator. Doctors use weight as your indicator of whether you're healthy or not healthy, when weight is one of the worst indicators of progress that there is. Besides BMI, it's probably the worst. So I want you to get away from the scale. So I know it's a hard one. It may not even happen. All I can do is encourage you to, because the reason is that when you weigh, it's in that moment. If you weigh 10 minutes later, it'll be different. If you weigh an hour later, it'll be different. If you weigh 5 hours later, it'll be different. If you weigh every hour or every half an hour for a 24-hour period, it'll be different every time, even if you're doing nothing different. Even when you go to bed at night, you're weight, you wake up in the morning, weigh yourself again, it'll be different. We're constantly changing in our weight because our body is made up of what things are set, but then our body's processing food and liquids all the time, whatever's gone into our body. So it's not accurate. And it's not accurate for guys because, again, that whole processing, depending on what you've eaten, a banana versus something like a steak, it's going to process very differently in speed. And then there's all the reactions to different foods within you as well. But if you're a female, weighing yourself is literally psychological warfare because you have a cycle going on inside you. That means your weight is going to be erratic all the time for at least 3 weeks of the year, of the month. And then add to that just how erratic weight is anyway. So where am I going to with this? My point is you're not looking at weight, you're looking at fat. It's fat that you don't like in your body. So it really should be is, what is the best exercise to lose fat? Because it's fat you want to get rid of. When you grab a part of your body and go, oh, I don't like that, that's fat, that's not weight. Of course, it'll have an impact on your weight, but the shift you need in your mind is to take the shift away from weight and put it onto fat. Because I could get you to lose loads of weight on the scales, but you wouldn't necessarily be healthier or even look better. But if you lose fat, you 100% are going to look better. And that is exactly what you want. Your clothes will fit better, you'll feel better, your body will work more optimally, and so on. So it's not about weight, it's about fat. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, in terms of, again, exercise, what exercise is the best exercise to lose fat, let's say, or if you want to continue looking at weight, but I want to use fat from now on for the reason I mentioned. Very simply, any exercise. You might go, that's so simplistic. It is, because for a lot of people, they're not being consistent. You're not being consistent. You're not being consistent. It doesn't really matter what you do. You need to focus on consistency. So whatever exercise will get you to be consistent, do that. So like for me, I hate the cross trainer or elliptical machine. If I had to do that every day, there's no way I would stick to it. I would just not be consistent, or it would be, I would do it, but I would hate it. And you shouldn't do stuff you hate. You should do stuff you can tolerate to enjoy. Okay, in terms of a spectrum. So any exercise is good to burn fat, first of all, especially when you're coming from a point that you're always yo-yoing, you haven't exercised in an awful long time, you're not sure what to do and so on. It's about getting consistent first and foremost. When you're getting consistent, then you can get more specific, okay? And that's why the way I'll explain this, I hope it's going to make sense to you, okay? But it's at the start, don't worry about the what, worry about the doing. It could be at home, could be in the gym, could be in a class, could be in the park, it could be a YouTube video, it could be at home with bottles of water, or it could be you might have a kettlebell. Do something, exercise, move more, do some types of actual workouts. That's the goal initially, and do it a minimum 3 times a week, up to 6 times a week preferably, and do that for even 10 minutes at a go, and then build it up 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50 minutes. That's as long as you need to work out, ideally 4 to 6 days a week. That's the ultimate goal. And when you do that, you're going to get the best results. But doing like up to an hour a day, 6 days a week, doesn't matter if you're not doing anything. What matters is just starting. So the best exercise to lose fat is to exercise. Okay, that's first thing. Next thing is, if we are consistent and we want to get more specific, we want to accelerate our results, or we want to truly know what is the best, we're trying to raise our metabolism. That's the goal, okay? The faster your metabolism gets, the more calories you're burning. That is actually what you're aiming to do. Okay, again, take the focus again off fat. The more your metabolism is raised, the more fat you're going to burn, because the more calories you're going to burn. And depending how your nutrition and sleeping habits and everything else is, it's fat that you will burn, okay? So that will take care of itself. But be conscious of what you're eating, make sure it's good food. But back to the exercise. If you want to burn the most, weight training, if it's put head to head against cardio, so let's say you were consistent, very consistent routine. And if you have 2 people who are consistent, and one of them does 6 weeks, 3 days a week of intense cardio training, the other does 3 days a week of intense resistance training. At the end of 6 weeks, 12 weeks, any period of time, the resistance training will have won in terms of the amount of fat that will have been lost and how they will look. Because when you do weight training, you shape the body. You're tightening the muscles in, you're burning off fat. When you're doing cardio, even if it's intense, you're burning excess calories for a couple of hours after the workout if you've done an effective workout, which most people aren't. That's another story. But it's a short-term thing. You're going to burn more calories. If you, depending on your calorie intake for the day, you'll have a deficit, and then you'll burn actual fat. So it depends on a few different things, but it's a smaller amount of calories burned. Whereas weight training means you're going to burn calories 24/7, even when you're asleep, because the body's in a constant state of repair when you do regular resistance training. This is why resistance training is a head-to-head with cardio. It destroys it from a fat loss point of view, because it has a much bigger metabolic impact. And the more muscle mass you have, not in terms of necessarily size, just lean muscle, the more calories you're burning at rest, the faster your metabolism is, the faster your basal metabolism is. Basal metabolism means that when you're literally sitting doing nothing, just to keep you alive, the level of metabolism at that stage. So weight training, far superior than cardio. Now, hold on a second. That doesn't mean, okay, great, let's all do weights, forget the cardio. The best way, because again, I'm trying to go from stage by stage. Like I said to start, it's just exercise. Then I'm trying to explain to you resistance versus the cardio debate. If you want to get the best results and lose the most fat fastest, the best exercise is a combination of resistance training and cardiovascular training. So that in every week, you've got 3 to 6 proper, well-designed resistance training workouts, and you've got 8 from 2 to 6 HIIT-style interval training sessions. So HIIT is where you go hard, easy, hard, easy. It could be 8 from 10 minutes up to 20, 30 minutes max. It doesn't have to be long. It can be short. It can be outside. It can be inside. It could be on a treadmill. It could be out running. It could be on a bike. It could be on a rower inside. It doesn't matter. It's just about going hard at something cardiovascular based and going easy to recover, and then go again. Keep doing as many as you can then within your allotted time period. That will make your metabolism rev up and go super fast for hours afterwards. And it'll also raise your fitness level up higher if you've pushed yourself, which means your basal metabolic rate will rise. As I said with the weight training, it's 24/7, your body's repairing, so you're burning calories 24/7. So if you want the ultimate exercise to burn fat fastest, have a program that has resistance training, and cardiovascular training. Make sure it's a proper, effective resistance program. Make sure it's a proper, effective cardiovascular program. And then combine them into a complete program. But there's no point aiming for that if you haven't really exercised in a long time or you've been very sporadic. To start off with, literally just start exercising. That is the best exercise. So I hope that kind of makes sense to you in terms of the broad spectrum of what exercise is the best for fat loss. Because look, you go online, you search that, you listen to certain people, they'll tell you, oh, running is the best. If you want to lose fat, then go running. Or others will say, oh, cycling's definitely best. Or others will say, particular weight exercise. Like if you do bench presses, you're going to definitely lose loads of fat, or do loads of squats. Or how about doing this class or this ab class or high rocks or CrossFit or whatever. It's not the thing. It's not the mode. It's the consistency. Consistency will see you lose fat fast. Okay? Does that make sense? Because it's important that this penny drops. That's more about consistency rather than the what. The what only becomes more important the more consistent you are. When you're not consistent, focus on just being consistent. Okay? So don't bother worrying yourself about what program should go on. Is it the best? Is it most effective? What exercise should I do? Just exercise if you're just starting from scratch. If you're more advanced and you're consistent, then yes, you need to up your game if you want to get the right results. Because the better shape you get into, the more specific you need to be. Because otherwise you won't stimulate your metabolism enough. So it's about doing the right exercise at the right time to stimulate the metabolism to the level that you need, depending where you're at. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's clarified that a bit for you. It's an important topic because I don't want you wasting your time. You want a good ROI on your time and energy investment. So follow this kind of tip and I can guarantee you that you will get better results. And added to that, consistent exercise is the best medicine for your mind that there is. So you will feel better. You get a good endorphin kick. You'll feel better about yourself. There's nothing better than exercising in terms of for your mind. It literally is medicine. So use it for that. Okay? So hope this is beneficial. This is the latest episode of the Mind Body Health Podcast. Leave a comment below with your thoughts, your questions, any comments you may have about it. Answer the poll that's set up there if you watch on Spotify. And what I'd really appreciate if you can share this far and wide, share it with people you know will add benefit to. It's a short little episode, but it's impactful. It'll change their results if they're not trained correctly, which is the vast majority of people. And I want people to put in the effort, but put in the effort and get the results back from it. So let me know your questions. Let me know I can help you. Check out all the free content I share across all social media every day. Check out previous episodes of the Mind Body Health Podcast. And check out below if you want to book a free 30-minute coaching session with me where we do a deep dive into where you're at, what challenges, obstacles you have, and I'll give you some tips that will make a huge difference in your life. And keep an eye out for any upcoming online or offline events that I'll be holding. All right, so that's it from me, Dave Sheehan, Mind Body Health Podcast. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Do give us your feedback. And as I said, please share and subscribe.